What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Taylor and I'm stoked to share the new Fortin Synergy module with you. This was sent to me pre-launch for this video and yeah, I'm just really, I like it. I like it a lot, I don't know. Now, I probably don't need to introduce this module to you. I'm sure a lot of you heard about this from like the coverage at NAMM this year, 2025. I actually heard about this at NAMM 2024, so I've been waiting a really long time for this module. And it does not disappoint. I'm glad it took them a long time to make this module because I think they did a really, really great job. And in a lot of ways, I think it's too early to say this, but I think this may be my favorite Synergy module. Let me explain the rig real quick here so you know what's going on. I'm playing this Solar Guitars F1.6 Corner. It has Fishman Fluence Moderns in it. Not my normal EMG equipped guitar, but we will go to an EMG equipped guitar later on in this video. I'm plugged into the Devil by my company, Obsidian Audio. This is a boost pedal. It has a noise gate built into it. I am not utilizing this at the moment. You can tell because there's no light on. That is going into the Syn 2. We have the Fortin 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋 loaded up here in position 1. In position 2, I have the Direct module, which is a recent one that they released. I just have that in there for some comparison. That is going into my Marshall EL34 100 power amp that is powering this Mesa Boogie oversized cabinet. I have some microphones on and I'm just trying to capture what I'm hearing in the room the best I can. It's not, the microphone part's not exciting. But this is what the Fortin module sounds like. This is one of the modules for the Synergy system that has the most, how would I describe it? Complex and lush high gain sounds. If you are a high gain enthusiast, you probably know what I'm talking about. There are different gain textures and like feels to different amplifiers. And with the 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋, not unlike a lot of stuff that Mike Fortin designs, I've noticed, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed this as well, but not unlike a lot of stuff that he designs, you have a lot of control over that texture and the different things you can do with your gain, and specifically like the saturation. Let me explain how this module works really quick here before we get too far into it. This is the Synergy Fortin 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋 module. It is an all-tube, 2-channel module designed with high gain connoisseur Mike Fortin. The 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋 module is based on the Fortin 𝐶ali amp and has some of the unique characteristics that amplifier has, like the violence and the saturation switches. Like I mentioned, it is a 2-channel preamp. Now both of the channels are exactly the same, however they are completely independent. So for example, you can set one up for a low gain setting and one for a high gain setting and switch between them. On the front of the unit, we have 2 gain controls. These are cascaded gain stages. Gain 1 controls the first gain stage and gain 2 controls the second gain stage. We have 2 3-way bright switches. That feels weird to say. 1 for each gain control. The top selection is the brightest, most aggressive tone. And these bright switches are directly connected to the gain control, so the higher you have the gain, the less the bright tends to affect the tone. The middle position is a full range sound, and at the bottom position, the brightness is similar to the classic bright control on a JCM 800 2203 model. As we move down the faceplate, we have the violence switch. In the down position, it's bypass, but when you turn it on, it adds an additional tube gain stage for 4 total tube gain stages. Next, we have the saturation switch. When it's down, it's bypass. When it's up, it adds another clipping circuit that increases compression and gain. Next, we have the EQ shape switch, a 3-way switch that changes the points of the EQ. Up is a typical M-style tone stack. I'm sure you can figure out what that means. The middle is more of an American-style tone stack. That is to say, it is more scooped. And all the way down is somewhere between the two, shifting up the treble in the mid-range. You know, we don't need to go in between both channels because they are identical. However, I prefer the red light. So let's just go with the red. And it's also easier to access this top. I don't need to tell you all this. But anyways, I'm going to put this first gain stage at noon. We have both bright switches bypassed. Saturation switches off. EQ shape is at neutral. We're going to turn the violence switch off. I'm just going to preemptively set the EQ something like that. And then I'm going to bring in gain 2. Okay, you can see with both gain stages here, you know, we don't have this super crazy aggressive high gain sound. You know, if we turn the violence switch on, and we just start getting that really rich gain texture. I really enjoy it a lot. Let's mess with the bright switches here. And you can see, like the manual said, if we turn the gain down, the bright switch actually affects it a little bit more. Okay, let's check the EQ shape out here a little bit. A little bit more nasally that way. I like it in the middle actually because I like a deeper low end. So we're gonna keep that in the middle there. We also have this saturation switch. Now when you turn this on, it's going to compress the signal, so you're probably gonna notice volume drop. I like what this does a lot, however, it does cut the low end a little bit. Let's add some more clipping to it though by boosting it. Maybe it's too much, I don't know. We'll maybe turn the gain down there. So running that into the front of this, it handles it really well. Let's turn it off. On. It's just so pissed off and mean sounding. Let's turn the boost off for now. I want to compare this to the direct module real quick, just so that there's some sort of basis for comparison. Let's go over to the red channel on that guy. Let's go back over to the Fortin module. You can hear with the direct module, I would call the gain, like the saturation, looser. You know, it just feels more fuzzy. With the 𝐒𝐿𝐈 module, it's like razor fine. It's super tight and just really aggressive and articulate. Maybe at the cost of a little bit of low end. People always tell me in the comments that I use way too much low end anyway, so, you know, maybe that's a good thing. Let's go into super low Chungus tuning and hear what it sounds like with that. This is my Jackson Warrior. It has an EMG 81, 85. I mean, we're only gonna be on the bridge pickup anyway, so that's an 81. This guitar is tuned to drop G sharp or A flat if you wanna be a weirdo about it. And for me, playing this really low tuning with anything Fortin, but specifically this killer 𝐒𝐿𝐈 module, you can kind of understand, I think, why bands like Meshuggah, bands that play in really low tunings, sort of gravitate towards this sort of sound, because it really helps define and clean up a lot of like the flub that comes with playing in lower tunings. It just really helps this lower register articulate really, really well. Okay, there's a couple things that I want to mention here. This module is undoubtedly brutal. I mean, it is just unrelenting. It's a really, really great module from a renowned amp builder. Now with that glowing praise, I feel like one of the drawbacks with the Synergy system, not just specifically this module, but certain modules that utilize a lot of features, is it's very small and it's very easy to bump these things with your fingers, especially if you're dialing in like this, like me, in front of cameras with my left hand reaching this way. It's a little bit difficult to dial in. Maybe if you were a guitar player and you're on stage, especially on a dark stage, that might be a little bit tricky to dial in too. However, I feel like it's perfect for engineers. I feel like if you're in the studio, it's the perfect thing because, you know, it's rack mountable, so you can put this in your studio rack where it probably will never leave, and you can swap out these different modules very easily. Like, for example, if I wanted to play my 𝐒𝐏𝐄𝐈𝐀 Powerball right now, it's right here. Like, I gotta move amplifier heads and but if I wanted to play a Powerball module, I could just boop, boop, pop it in real quick. You know what I mean? It's convenient. And when it comes to this specific module with the Synergy system, I have several modules. I've reviewed them on the channel. This is probably the one that got me the most excited because of Mike Fortin's reputation. And like, I have a Randall Satan back here that he designed. You know, it's really cool amplifier. I think he does things unique enough, especially for high gain nerds like me, that it justified having another one of these modules. I was really, really excited about this when I first heard about it. So I'm really stoked now, not only to have this in my module collection, but to be able to share with all of you guys. I think it's awesome.